Well, today I've got a flawless foundation routine to show you guys with all my tips and tricks, all my favourite products. Want to see how I got this base? Then please keep on watching. I always think you look super crazy when you have no foundation on and just your eyes done, especially when you go for something so bold. So let's jump straight into this. The first product I'm going to be using today is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So I'm just taking this Beauty London brush. I've been really enjoying this brush to soak up all my primers and really make them blend into my skin. I'll leave them down below. They do really nice collections and they also give you lots of like free tips and tricks and stuff on their Instagram, so I'll leave their Instagram too if you guys want to go follow them. That gives the skin a little bit of coverage and also a really nice glowy finish too. If you've been following my channel for a little while or over on my Instagram, then you'll know that the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation has become my favourite foundation. Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. We all know that the smell isn't great, but for the quality of the foundation, we can put up with it. So my biggest advice if you want a flawless foundation is to really work it into the skin, really take your time on this step. Me personally, I love using a buffing kind of brush. A lot of the times I'll actually take a blusher brush or something like that. This brush is from Peaches and Cream and it is the PC08. Their brushes are honestly absolutely amazing. I highly recommend them to everybody. But I find this a great way to really push the product into your skin so you get that really airbrush finish, as you can see the difference already. And it also lasts all day, I find, when you push a foundation in this way. If you're going to be using circular motions, you're just kind of spreading it around your face and that's going to give you a lot more of a natural finish, whereas if you're using pressing motions to press it right into your skin, that will give you that bit more coverage and also a bit more of a flawless finish. As you guys can see, I've left a little bit underneath my eyes just because I've put quite a bit of shadow there, and what I'm going to do is really blend the concealer up into that shadow so that it blends nice and evenly. So now I'm going to contour and I'm going to use my favourite product ever, which is the Dark Contour Stick by So Sue by Susie Jackson. Honestly, this is amazing. It goes on like butter and blends like butter. I've just been obsessed for quite a good while now, maybe coming on to a year to be honest with you guys. So I've been enjoying doing my contouring first and then going in and highlighting once the contour is all blended out. So to blend out my contour, I've been actually using a sponge recently. I have a love-hate relationship with sponges. Sometimes I will use them all the time and then other times I just don't want to use them at all, but at the minute I've been really enjoying using them for contour. I have tried so many different beauty blenders and if I'm honest, I always come back to this one, and this is by So Sue by Susan Jackson as well. I just find that it goes a really nice size, it's really bouncy, and I just really like the way that it blends out my makeup. So I've really been liking that sponge, so if you're looking for a new sponge then I definitely recommend this one. Okay, so for my nose contour, I actually leave until I've done my concealing because I like to blend the concealer into the nose contour. So I have three favourite concealers. I have my NARS Creamy Concealer, which obviously is just a go-to. My only problem that I do find with this is it runs out super quick and obviously it's not the cheapest of concealers anyway, but I do definitely recommend this. Other go-to would be my Tarte Shape Tape if I'm really wanting that snatched, flawless, full beat kind of makeup. However, recently I have been using the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer and I've been absolutely loving it. So I'm actually going to go in with that today. It did a full face of Benefit if you guys want to go and see it. It's a bit of a juicy video. The foundation was a bit questionable, so if you guys want to go and see that, it was my last video on my channel, and I also had been using this for a couple of days before that video, and I've been using it for a couple of days since that video, and I've just been really enjoying it. So I thought, why not use that in this tutorial today, especially as we're going for such a flawless look, and it is a cakeless concealer. So I'm gonna like really focus it in this inner corner and up here, but I'm gonna leave a gap in between my eyeshadow just because I want to blend it in seamlessly. However, if you're not wearing eyeshadow, then you could take it right up against the corner of your eye. So I like to take one little line down the centre of my nose and then two tiny lines with whatever's left in on the little stick. I then like to take a little bit through the centre of my forehead and onto my chin. So I usually blend out the chin and the forehead first for no particular reason other than I just do that. What I like to do is to take a domed fluffy brush, and I need this to be super soft because we want to use such a light touch when we're using these kind of brushes. But this one is by T London and this is T3, and what I like to do is I start to pat and drag down the edge of the concealer, and I will bring the excess product in towards the centre. And then I will start working on the inner corner in the same way. And then I will start to take the edge of the contour down. And then what I like to do is to take a flat kind of fluffy brush just to blend the eyeshadow and the concealer in seamlessly together. This one is also by T Beauty and this is in T7. So you just want to pop your hand right at the edge of the brush. This will just give you the most control in such a gentle way. If you hold it like this, like a pencil, you'll go in way too harsh, so make sure you're just holding it around the end. And you just want to very gently blend the two together. Honestly, I wish you guys could tell what my pressure was like. It's honestly so gentle, literally like a feather, just kind of teasing that concealer where we want it to go. We don't want any kind of harsh lines where it stops and where it starts. And there you can see that it is all blended together really nicely. So now you can see that both sides are all blended in together. What I then like to do is to take my beauty sponge and just blend out the concealer we popped down the centre of my nose. I don't like harsh nose contour, this is why I blend it all together, just so that it creates a very soft shadow, and I will go over with a little bit of our powder contour. Now I'm going to go in with a liquid blusher. I absolutely love liquid blushes and they are absolutely great to make any makeup look that extra bit more special or that extra bit more flawless. This one I'm going to use today is NARS Torrid and it is definitely my absolute favourite. I'm just going to apply the tiniest amount, like so, and I'm just going to start tapping it in. You don't want to drag with this because you'll end up with lines. You just want to very gently tap it into your cheeks. And again, I'm pressing really, really lightly, and I'm holding my brush down the end. And you can see the difference that that gives and how it just kind of lifts your face. I'm just going to apply a tiny bit more, literally the tiniest amount. And I'm just going to tap it on. So as you can see, even without powder, that just gives your face much more of a lifted look, and it just adds to the glowiness and the flawlessness. I absolutely love liquid blushes. NARS are my favourite. Iconic London do really, really sheer blushes if you like something a little bit more natural, and Mimi Mitchell's blushes are really nice too. I must do a video on them because honestly they're so nice. So on to powders, I have a couple of favourites, and I have a couple of ways that I like to do this. I like to just change it up depending, but for today we're going to go in with my all-time favourite go-to loose powder, which is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So what I like to do is to get some in the lid, and I like to take my sponge and I like to create a reverse contour and slightly bake with this method. I like to apply this powder before I apply the bronzer, because what I find is if you do this trick after you've applied your powder bronzer, it gives you like a straight line, whereas if you apply this to kind of cut it out slightly and then apply your powder bronzer, it buffs into the line a little bit more and it just looks a lot more blended rather than harsh. Then I take whatever's left and I apply it around my mouth area. This is just to set everything in place. Usually you'll be out drinking, eating, whatever, and you want your mouth area to stay in place. So I always like to set this with some loose powder. Why is it whenever you film, there's kids screaming outside, there's a house alarm going off, like there's just always something that wants to try and ruin the video. I'm just taking a little bit more of the powder and I'm going to take this on the centre of my forehead. And I like to do this because it really does seal in that product and makes it completely flawless. Obviously in day-to-day life, when we're not in lockdown, when you're out and about, obviously you may sweat a little bit or you may flick your fringe a little bit and you're constantly kind of touching your forehead. So I really recommend to gently press in some powder, and that will just lock it in place but without it looking too heavy or too powdery. This is why I do it with the sponge, and this is why I only use a tiny bit. For powder, I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Away Flawless Finish powder. Honestly, this is amazing, this stuff. And I'm going to go in with the same kind of brush that we used to apply the concealer underneath the eyes. And I'm just going to so gently apply this over, again holding my brush at the end and just gently applying it. I'm going to go in like an upside down triangle kind of motion. I'm not going to go over the blusher. So onto bronzer, I'm going to take my absolute favourite, which is the MAC Give Me Sun. And I'm going to try and focus it on the high point of my cheekbone and then just drag whatever the excess is down. But you don't want to come too far down because that will just give the appearance of a really kind of like dragged down face. So you'll be able to see now what I mean about that powder. It will just ever so slightly blend out but still give you that kind of cut out cheekbone. So I'm just really focusing it right at the top of my cheekbone and then just dragging whatever the excess is down. And then I'm just going to take some onto my forehead. I absolutely love this bronzer. I actually don't know what I'd do without it. I have many favourite bronzers, but this one is the one. Like if I could only have one bronzer, MAC Give Me Some would be it, and this has been the same since probably college, so 2014-15. So whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to very gently take down the sides of my nose just to bring that face all together and make sure all the shadows kind of blend in. Onto blusher, I've actually been loving these Beauty Bay blushes at the minute. They're so inexpensive, I think they're about £6, but the formula is absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to take the same brush that we used for bronzer and I'm going to apply some of this blusher. This shade is Peachy. Generally, I do find that bronzer and blusher does fade during the day no matter what you've done and no matter what product it is. So I do always apply that little bit extra just when I'm doing it, because within 5 minutes it will kind of soften a little bit. So on to highlight, I'm going to use my new favourite, which is the Benefit Cookie. This is honestly amazing. I used this in my full face of Benefit and was absolutely blown away. It's like a peachy champagne-y blusher. I've been obsessed. And I'm going to take this on my Peaches PC17 brush. I just think it's so flawless. Because I don't like too much highlighter on my nose, whatever's left, I'm just going to take down the centre very gently and on my Cupid's bow. And then on my chin. Onto lips, you'll have heard me rave about these a million times, and that is the Peaches and Cream lip liners. Honestly, they're so affordable, so creamy and just so good. This one is in the shade Punchline. Recently I've been loving a lip combo from Jordana T-shirt. This is in the Buff, which is a liquid lipstick. I honestly think it goes so nice with the lip liner, and it's a liquid lipstick, so I like to use this because obviously it's so hard to keep lipsticks on, so I like to apply this first, and then because mostly I like a glossy lip, I'm going to go in with the Jordana T-shirt's Hun lip gloss. See that blends in so nicely together. To finish off, I'm going to go in with the iconic London Prep Set and Glow Original Spray. This stuff is honestly heaven in a bottle. It is so good. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you all picked up some tips and tricks. Leave me a comment if you want any kind of advice, or if you're struggling with anything. I'd love to help you all out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys!